How's it going, you beautiful sons of guns? My name's the Dapper Saint, and welcome to Late Night Coffee Break, a series where Cody gets on the soapbox for a few minutes and just rambles on. We all have our stories and things we want to talk about, so what better way to do that than make a series out of it? And what better way to start that series than the reason why I'll never play a visual novel ever again. Viewer discretion advised. I don't think I need to explain why. So, as you may or may not know due to the references I make or the games that I've played, I am absolutely weeb trash. Oh, what a shocker. Lo and behold, the guy who simps over a new silver-haired waifu every other week happens to be an absolute degenerate. Anyways, yeah, I'm a total weeb. But in the realm of weebs, there are a lot of different things, and one such thing is the topic of visual novels. You see, to give you a brief explanation exactly what a visual novel is, a visual novel is just that, a novel that you self-insert yourself into, and you're actually able to go down several different routes of storyline. These games typically also have images to them, thus the visual side. It's typically something based around the genre that is romance, as there tend to be a lot of dating sims in this area. My experience with this genre tends to be lackluster, as I've only played 3 games, which are Doki Doki Literature Club, a game that everybody knows about considering how controversial it is, Carpe Diem, one that I would definitely recommend, and the game that this whole story is based around. You see, to give you a little bit of story on how I got myself into the circumstance, let me tell you how I figured out about this game. Pretty much, I was on Discord talking to my friend Paul, who I'm not going to say the name of for obvious reasons. But Paul and I were talking about weeb stuff, as weebs do, and the subject of visual novels did come up. Knowing the fact that I didn't have much experience when it came to visual novels, Paul decided to give me a recommendation for a game that he knew. Being curious about the whole thing, I said, sure, I'll try out whatever you give me, and he gave me a game called Growth Academy. I forgot to note that this game was found on DeviantArt, which was a total fucking red flag. Quite frankly, I wish I would have seen the shit-eating grin that he had behind that damn screen the moment he told me about that game. But being completely oblivious, I said sure, I'll try it out, man. And what I got surprised me immediately, as the game of Growth Academy is essentially a game built around the idea that you are at a special academy for special people. Every person in this school has a unique feature to them, and that is a enhanced growth. You can see where this is going now. Yep, it is a game built around different types of fetishes. That's the best way I can explain it. Being completely outraged by this whole ordeal, I immediately sent a message to my friend. And him and I had a laugh about it. It was kind of funny, honestly. He did insist that I try the game at least for some damn reason, and I said sure, why not? And that's where the decision came into play, because I did meet all the different girls in this game, and I did not like them. Let's look at what kind of choices we have. We have our childhood friend who has massive opis. That's an instantaneous note from me, because the childhood friend always gets friend-zoned. You have freakishly large muscle girl, the giant tall girl, and every other fetish in between that. Honestly, I wasn't having any of that. I didn't really find interest in any of the people, except for one girl. I think the reason she caught my eye was the fact that she was the most tame-looking individual, and my instincts of vanilla, vanilla, vanilla kind of just jumped in. But this girl was a girl named Ada, who was a little bit more mouse-like, very timid if you will. She seemed very, very quiet and kind of abstained from most certain situations. And when I did start talking to Ada, her and I actually hit it off really, really well. She actually had a really nice story behind her character, and her and I had a very romantic couple kind of situation. We did all kinds of things together. I encouraged her to get into cooking, we went to go paint together sometimes, and it was just really, really wholesome. I actually would like to point out that I didn't exactly know what her growth was, by the way. She was much more reserved about her growth in comparison to everybody else, and the only difference about her from the beginning of the game to where we were now was the fact that she had bigger opis and thick thighs for days. But hey, as a man of culture, I can't complain about that at all. The only actual hint I had about her growth was the abbreviation beside her route, as everybody had this little abbreviation that gave a hint about them. For instance, the girl that was a little bit softer around the sides was a BBW abbreviation, and there was the really tall girl that happened to be Giga. It made a lot of sense. But hers was a little bit of a wrench in the cogs for me, because I couldn't figure out what it was at all. It was just PRG, which I had no idea what it meant. But hell, it's not like I really cared. She was the most normal person in the whole area, and it kind of felt very realistic in that way, because it was just two of us trying to survive while being different, unique. But her and I really hit it off, and I enjoyed the romance side of things, despite the fact of not really caring about that kind of stuff. In fact, one of the main reasons I got into visual novels was for the shock and awe factor, thus the reason I played games like Doki Doki Literature Club. You know, I'm beginning to understand why my friend showed me this. But like all things in life, they always have to come to an end at some point, and so did our good times together. As after a while, she just became a little bit distant. I didn't know why this was. We had one last date before that time when she kind of just disappeared. And she definitely had something on her chest that she wasn't telling me. I didn't know how to get it out of her, so I just let her do it on her own time, as I figured she would tell me at some point. Oh, and I was not wrong about that, as this story that was wholesome and romantic suddenly just took a left turn into the deep abyss of hell. When she disappeared for a few days, I finally saw her again. Not by the fact of us being in class together, but by her banging on my door at 12 o'clock in the morning, beating it down practically, demanding to talk to me. I was a little confused why she was here at 12 a.m., but the moment she came in, I figured that out soon, as she proceeded to ask me if we could— What the absolute fuck? All these wholesome memories, and the farthest we ever actually went was holding hands, yet here she is trying to fuck me. But the moment we did get into the situation where I had to make a choice, whether I was going to say yay or nay, I actually said nay, but it just didn't feel right, you know? It was so sudden. I just wanted to sit down and have an actual talk, because I was invested into her character, and this felt so out of the blue. But she was not okay with having a talk after that. In fact, she was super pissed, and she just left. I didn't see her for a while after that. I was kind of concerned and a little bit confused what was going on, but yeah, she just disappeared. So I ended up looking for her. And I did happen to find a lead, as when I went to the nurse, she did tell me that she was sick. And that got me scared actually, because I was like, oh no, is she the one that dies at some point? So I ended up building up the courage to go talk to her, and this is the moment where I really found the truth about her whole thing. You see, the moment I got there, I could already tell that she was very nervous and uneasy. Not so much the fact that she didn't want to see me, but more the fact that she was very afraid of how I would feel if I saw her. Which kind of made me a little bit concerned. I didn't know what was going on. As I said, I didn't know what her ability was. But I was soon to learn about it. You see, she did eventually let me in. And that's when the truth was finally unveiled about her ability. It was loud and clear what her ability was the moment I walked in and I saw her. Because that abbreviation, PRG, was none other than pregnancy. Her ability was enhanced fertility. Oh, but of course, leave it to Cody to go down the most vanilla route, only to realize the fact that it is the worst of all the fetishes. Like, are you fucking kidding me? There are so many other types of fetishes that I thought I was being at least tamed to some extent. But no, it was like Yugi just pulled over his trap car, destroyed me, and sent me to the goddamn graveyard. I just didn't know how to react. I didn't know, because it's just one of those things where we had so many wholesome moments together. It was such a sweet, lighthearted story between her and I, the couple that was trying to survive with our unique features. And then that happened! So the first thing I did is I immediately deleted the game, uninstalled it, threw it into the recycling bin, recycled the recycling bin, deleted my history, and then swore to the freaking heavens. So yeah, there you go. There's a reason I don't play visual novels anymore. I just don't have the time for my trust to be shattered once more. The moral of the story is don't trust anything, and make sure to do research behind anything your friends recommend you. Class is dismissed. I hope you enjoyed this horrible story of mine, and make sure not to make the same mistakes, alright? But I just hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, stay dapper.